Hi, I'm Deon Jenkins. I'm a student athlete at the St. James Performance Academy. Today I'm sitting down with Coach Steve to get to know him better. The first question is, what what was your most unforgettable moment in the MLB?
Oh man, I would say I was probably 8 years old, and it was mid 90s, and my dad was coaching with the Orioles, so I was a kid, and it was Cal Ripken during his streak.
hmm
Um, that's something that I'll never forget. I don't know that that streak is ever going to be broken, but my dad and Cal were teammates, and at the time when Cal was breaking that streak, my dad was the first base coach. So Cal went to my dad in the middle of the game when it became official and he made that 21-31 game. He looked to my dad and he didn't know what to do. The fans were standing up, everybody was going crazy. And my dad said, "You take the lap, son." And he pushed him and he jogged around the warning track at Camden Yards and gave all the fans a high five. I think that was probably the most electric, definitely most deeply ingrained memory that I have.
I really like that one. If you could build the perfect baseball player, what three qualities would they have?
Um, that's a good question. I think some of the things that make the best baseball players, one is that they're self-aware. Two is that they're, smart and aware of the game situation, so they are intelligent IQ wise. And three, they need to be resilient in, the face adversity. Um, every day is not going to knock you down as a baseball player, and more days than not, you're going to fail to some degree. So if we could focus on those failures and turn those around as quickly as we can and learn from them, that resilience factor. But number one, I want to go back to that, the self-awareness thing. One of the biggest downfalls in my career was that I wasn't really listening to my body. I was listening to, people around me thinking and telling me kind of what they felt was best, the right way to, swing and move and lift weights even. So the self-awareness thing was key. If we can tune into our body and understand like the phases and the cycles that we're going through with our performance and our training, I think that's going to make the best baseball athlete or athlete in general, understanding those cycles each year.
What's the best piece of baseball advice you've ever received, and who gave it to you?
hmm Let's see, I was 21. I had just graduated, or not graduated, but gotten drafted from
Mm,
Virginia Tech, and I was in my first short season. It was the middle of summer. I was already tired. I was kind of hurt. So I wasn't getting many at bats, but one of my dad's teammates, Uncle Eddie Murray, he came over one day and we were in the basement and he told me, "You're hurt, you're not doing a lot, you can't play right now, so what can you do?" And he encouraged me to find the rhythm. So I know you like music. Uncle Eddie listened to jazz music, my dad listened to jazz music, but I found that and I took that piece of advice to try to find the rhythm um, underneath kind of the action of the game. And when I got back on the field by the end of the year, I couldn't do too much because I was coming back from that injury. So I couldn't rush, I couldn't speed up that music, for instance. I had to find that steady rhythm, and that kind of carried me through the rest of my career. Um, I found some songs that I would listen to pregame almost every time and get me in that flow state. So using that music, finding that rhythm in the box, that rhythm in defense, and understanding the timing of the game. So Uncle Eddie, he helped me understand that yes, there's a lot of action happening and you got to exert a lot of energy, but at the same time, there's that steady pace, that steady, movement to the game. So just find that flow and go with it.
What's the one thing that separates a good baseball player from a great one?
Hmm. Why are you asking me? What do you think separates a good baseball player from a great?
Um, how they control themselves off the field and on the field.
Yeah. How they go about their business. It's definitely levels to attention and focus and detail and commitment. And I think the most dedicated or the best legends in the game, they carry themselves off the field in an extremely professional manner, the same way that they perform on the field. They pay attention to the small things, and I think they're just great people overall. They care about their teammates, they care about their families, they care about their organization, they care about giving back to the community. You see all the people that had played for 10 and 15 and 20 years, after a certain point of time, like, what they know is what they've done, and what they've done is make an impact on the people around them. So I think they just like to give back to their community, and that it sets the legacy up for longevity.
Who was the toughest pitcher you ever faced?
There was a couple tough ones. I'd say the one guy in high school, he ended up being a top 5 pick for the Orioles out of McDonough High School. His name was Brandon Irby, and he was a hard-throwing righty with a two-seamer. In high school, he was in the low 90s, I want to say, so he ended up playing AA, AAA for a few years. So in high school, it was at Brandon Irby. In college, when I was at Virginia Tech, it was a Friday night starter for UNC.
I knew that.
Alex White. You knew that because you heard me share that story
you
before.
told us a story.
What did he have to do? What was his hard pitch?
He had a splitter, I think.
Yeah, he had a nasty splitter.
And you couldn't hit, like you were trying to hit it off the machine and you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because the machine didn't have the same pitch he did.
So what did I do?
You looked at his film, I think.
I looked at his film, and then I created those reels in my head, and I saw that splitter out of his hand. I knew we were going to be facing him at home, so I was familiar and had that visual with my, home field, and I saw that splitter on Friday night, caught the bottom half of the ball, and it jumped out of the park. That was one of the hardest at-bats, but I prepared for months. I knew he was going to be the top pick out of UNC. And then once I got to the pros, there ended up being a guy that I think was a closer for the Rays. I think he started as a starter at some point, but his name was Alex Colomé, and he had a fastball in the upper 90s, and he was the first guy in the pros that I hit a home run off of, and that was in that short season with Uncle Eddie. I had to find that rhythm, and I couldn't overexert. I let the pitcher supply the power. Those guys that have big arms, as a hitter, you relax into it, you let him supply the power, and you just become accurate with the barrel, and you get to that point, and the ball's gonna, go if you catch it the right way.
Who's your favorite MLB player to watch right now, and why?
It's always it's always a hard conversation when you see people that you played with or against that are up there in the show and doing it for a long time. You feel like you could have been there, so not that I don't watch and support people, but the people that I support are the people that kind of supported me, and the people that surround themselves or, invite me into being like family to them. So like brothers, I've got a couple guys, Anthony Santander, who just went to the Toronto Blue Jays. The way he approaches the game, the way he trains in the off season, he actually trains with my cousin. I believe thoroughly that they're on to good things, and just want to see that like over a course of time and see that training progression, because my cousin, he started to train me towards the end of my career, and his career has grown since then, so I want to see that just being in the part of the family. And then the other guy would be a left-handed pitcher with the Orioles, Cionel Perez. The electricity, the energy he brings to the game. He's Cuban, he's got a lot of passion, so I love watching him pitch, and it gives me goosebumps. I just, got to know him over the last few years, so the people that are close to me, I really enjoy watching them thrive. Deon, who is your favorite MLB player to watch right now?
I think Ismael Munguia.
Ismael Munguia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the Yankees. He got a big league invite.
Yeah.
And last year he made it almost out of spring training with the Giants. Okay. What do you like about Ismael?
Well, he was my coach. I look up to him because he's not like really tall. He's like in the range that I might be in height. He I love I like his energy. Like he's not mean at all. I don't know. He walks around with passion. Um, yeah, but it's female for sure.
Well, yeah, you get to see it from the inside, and then you get to know him as a person, and then
Yeah.
watching him perform at his best and like be an artist, I think that's really cool. So when you get to see that inside aspect, which is what you're hearing a lot from me, that's what you kind of look for out on the field.
I actually have one more question, a bonus
Okay.
question. How do you think our season is gonna go this year?
I think our season, we put in a good amount of work. I certainly think that we're going to be above 500 this year. The biggest thing is that we need you guys to, like I said in this interview, is understand the ebb and the flow of the season so that you know how and when to get your energy up and you know how and when to conserve your energy. So managing the rest of this year with you guys competing from March all the way until November. Like, I want you to take that full picture. And I want you to take that full picture with the team. So as long as we come together as a team, your skills and the hard work that we put in the winter and the fall is going to take care of it. You guys just need to come together as a team. So the season's going to be determined by how well you guys stay together. Your skills and development, all the repetitions, we've done all that. You guys just need to come together, and you're going to create that outcome that you want. But I think we're definitely going to be above 500 this year.
I think we are actually too.
Yeah,
We have,
it's up to you, little man.
we have a good pitching staff and a good amount of people on our team. I guess that's it. It was an amazing interview. I wish I can come back. I think I can wrap it up. Thank you for having me.
All right, you got it, little man. Appreciate you, Deon.
I think we're done.